Welcome back to the Dinner's Done Cooking channel. I hope y'all enjoyed the new intro that Karenina, my daughter that you've probably seen in a couple of my videos, made for me. Today I'm going to be making a version of Ponca pan-fried trout in sour cream. Now this is kind of like the Canadian version that I used here because I absolutely could not find my old recipe. Also, I did not use trout. This that I have here was tilapia, only because it was the cheapest I could find. The original recipe calls for whole trout, and you just leave the heads and tails on, clean them real good, and then do a salt and pepper rub in all the, cavities and orifices. So that's fun. The Canadian version also says to dredge it in flour, which I do not do because I use the Ponca recipe. And interestingly, when I was looking online for this recipe, I found a bunch from like Norway and different countries in northern Europe. And oddly, there's a theory that Vikings may have had contact with the Native Americans centuries ago. Not saying they discovered this place, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like maybe there really was a cross-cultural connection way in the past. But anyway, so what I typically do is I'll season them first on one side and then put them in the pan, the hot grease, and then season the other side in the pan so that you don't lose any seasoning by setting them down on a plate as you flip them over. And so I just season them the way I typically season everything, which is paprika, salt, turmeric, onion, and some all-purpose seasoning, either adobo or seasoned meat tenderizer. I did add a tiny bit of garlic powder. Now, when I first started making this, I used to use imitation butter flakes, and I used to put those on there. But I haven't bought those in a very long time, so I'm not even sure that they still make them. So anyway, once the fish has browned, and you can see that it's flaky, you want to remove it from the pan, and you're going to melt in some butter. Now, I did it in the same pan, and so you can see all the, drippings from the seasoned fish and the little charred crumblies. That doesn't bother me. Now, if you're, having guests for dinner or something, you might want to use a clean pan just so that you get a nice, pretty sauce for the fish. But I just went ahead and did it in here. So you melt the butter, 2 tablespoons, and then you slowly add in sour cream. I'm going super slow because I'm doing this with one hand and recording with the other. So bear with me here, but you just gradually add it and mix it in as you go. And now, even though there is some butter and some different colorings going on in here, it will eventually get to almost white if you want to just go ahead and do it all in the same pan like I did. So just kind of adding a little at a time until I think it looks like it's going to be about enough. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add just 1/4 teaspoon of vinegar, and that's going to make it coagulate. Now it will coagulate a little bit more after you shut it off, but you can see here that it's starting to thicken already. And so you just want to keep stirring it. It takes only like 5 minutes really altogether. And then, like I said, once you shut it off and just let it cool just slightly, it's going to thicken up real nice. And you don't want to let it hit a complete boil. So you can kind of see that it's just simmering here. And you can tell by the appearance of the bubbles as it starts to thicken, because it doesn't look like bubbling liquid, if that makes sense. So it's thickening up pretty nicely already, and you can see the coagulated cream around the edges of the pan even. And so just kind of keep stirring it to keep it from getting scorched or anything. And then once it's done, you just spoon it on top of the fish. I served mine with seasoned fries, and there you have it. Ponca pan-fried trout in sour cream. And dinner's done. Thanks for watching. Bye.